What is up, YouTube? Zuki M1 here, and I am back with a brand new YouTube video. Today, we are bringing you guys some more Marvel, and we have for you guys a Mr. Negative deck. So, Mr. Negative is a very unique card in Marvel Snap. What he is a 4-drop that has -1 power. So right off the bat, you're immediately thinking, holy crap, this is an awful card, right? And the effect is swap the power and the cost of all cards in your deck, specifically in your deck, not in your hand or on the field. So everything that you need has to be within the deck. So your 5-drops like Iron Man, Blue Marvel, or White Tiger, or Professor Xavier, these guys have to be in your deck prior to the Mr. Negative swapping the costs. But fortunately, all the other cards in your deck also benefits immensely from the Mr. Negative buff, from swapping your Ford, swapping your Psylocke, or swapping your Ironheart, especially Ironheart. Ironheart with a swap is so good. So basically, the deck is very high rolling. The location that you want to see is going to be the peak. The peak also helps you do exactly what Mr. Negative is supposed to do. Your curve in this deck is going to be turn 1, you drop Sunspotter or Hawkeye. Turn 2, you drop Psylocke, right? If you have Mr. Negative in hand, you drop him because you, on turn 3, you're going to have 4 energy because of Psylocke's effect to give you +1 energy. So once you've paid your 4, done with Mr. Negative, on turn 5, you can drop Beast, bounce back Hawkeye, bounce back Psylocke, bounce back Mr. Negative with his -1, and then start outvaluing your opponent. Now, you may be wondering, how do you outvalue your opponent in this particular situation once you've already bounced back 3 creatures? But all of your units, depending on what you have in your hand, well, sorry, not in your hand, but in your deck, are going to become super high value cards. So imagine spending 1 energy on a White Tiger, spending 0 energy on an Iron Man, right? Those are high value cards, good enough to be 6-drops themselves. And you just pretty much outvalue your opponent and just win off that. Also, Beast is another win con in this deck. By reducing the cost of these cards, you can replay them. So one of the things that I like to do a lot with the deck is pretty much set up a Forge play or set up a Hawkeye play, get the buffs onto them. When you bounce cards back to their hand, they do not lose the buff that you gave them. So any type of steroid that they get on the field, they keep when you bounce them back to the hand, which is really good because that helps you be able to get even more power when you drop them at a cheaper value. But with that, we're going to go ahead and get into some duels, so I will see you guys later in the video. Our hands, let's see how this one goes. We got Mr. Negative and Psylocke, so that is the curve we were looking for here. Not too many 5-drops in hand as well, so that's going to play out pretty good. So turn 2, we drop the Psylocke. Turn 3, we drop Mr. Negative, and hope that we see a bunch of 1-drops on these next 2 draws. Yep, Sunspot. It's gonna put those rocks in his deck. Ooh, and we see the Beast. Let's go. All right, let's hope that we see another 1-drop. Please give me a 1-drop. I don't want to see a 5 cost yet. Okay, Okoye, he's going to buff his deck, and Psylocke is going to set me up for the Mr. Negative play. We saw him a little too soon, but it's all good. It's all gravy. Everything in the deck now is going to be super good. So that's 6 cards that could potentially just go absolutely crazy here. Perfection. Okay. Look at that. Free Iron Man. Can't beat that. Cannot beat that. We're going to bounce this. And pass turn. Khazar, 10, then Seri, 20. 20 powered Iron Man for free. That's nuts. That's nuts. That's nuts. All right. What do we want to do for turn 5? Let's go ahead and play. Let's play psylocke. And then. Decisions. Let's drop Charles and drop this. That way we can just block off the Shuri lab and don't have to worry about a Shang-Chi play. Please don't be Shang-Chi. Okay, it's not Shang-Chi. I don't think you beat this now. So no Shang-Chi play. We just gotta win this. We just gotta win this right here. So I could honestly just kind of all in right here, and go 1, 2, because he only got 6 power here. This is 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 power. Can he beat 8 power? Would it be more worth to play Ironheart instead of Blue Marble here? Nah, I think this is the right call. I'm gonna do this. Okay, I see. Ah, he got me. Alright, not a bad opener. We got the psylocke in hand. We just need to see Mr. Negative. 1, 2. Warriors Fall. Okay. Well, let's go psylocke. He's running an destruction deck. Okay. Interesting. What do we do here? Let's just set up this right now. I wish there was more that I could get from off this 3 energy I'm not going to be using. But I'm about to get 2 free units unless he kills them. Yep. Alright. So this is actually not a bad hand because we can go Nokia on turn 3, buff the Mr. Negative, and buff White Tiger. Yeah, that's fine. A lot of times, a lot of decks that I use, you tend not to need to drop anything until like turn 3 anyway, so that's normally like where your deck should be coming alive. Ooh, perfect. Drop the Nokia here, buff the White Tiger and Mr. Negative, and then he's going to flip the cost of all the units in the deck. We get Mr. Negative. Oh, that's what I like to see right there. Because his deck is definitely probably not going to be structured for a Mr. Negative play. So we're going to drop Mr. Negative there. That is the big turn 4 play. And then turn 5, we're probably going to be dropping... okay. Let's go... Let's go Forge into Ironheart. expecting. Iron Heart, buff. Okay, so this is the final turn. This is what we need to do. We're going to play. We're gonna play Tiger here, and I think that's it, right? That's all I can do, or should I go for blue marble? Let's go blue marble, and set this up here, and yeah, that's it. Nice time. Okay, buffs. There we go. Got it. Alright, so as you guys saw, getting this down to 3 costs and only making it, giving it 5 power, pretty nice. Now, I will say, one of the units that I really definitely wanted to see was the flipped Iron Man, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. A match for you guys. All right, we got another good turn 3 play with the Nakia. We're going to drop Nakia, and she's going to buff Mr. Negative, making him not a -1, which is really, really good. That in itself, oh man, I was really hoping to keep the Iron Man in the deck, but as long as we don't see any more 5 costs, because we already got 2 in hand, we should be fine. Again, this is kind of a really high rolly type of deck. You don't really want to see some of these cards like super. Ooh, that's going to be fantastic. Do I be greedy here? No, we're going to save that. That's going to be huge though. This bar Sinister is going to be huge. That's definitely going to help us win this game. Okay, then we go, and I drew all 3 of my 5 cards. Lovely. Okay. So we're just gonna probably just drop the blue marble on turn 5. Put +4/+4 on everybody. I think that's the right call. Okay, so far so good. Lockjaw goes into Iron Heart. Let's flip the cost and see what we get. Sun Spotter. Nice. Not really, but it is what it is. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and play my 4 blue marbles. 4 Jubilees. Interesting. Jubilee. Can't do it. And Jubilee. Can't do it. I don't know why he did that. Blue marble. Blue marble. Blue marble. Oh man. All right. So we're not actually gonna play for the monster land. If he does drop something, that's not the big deal. What we're gonna play for is a very simple Sunspot, and he's gonna be bigger than her, who is currently, I believe, should be only +4, so 5. Yeah, so we're gonna be 6 plus these. Yeah. This is game. I could even snap here, but we're not going to. We're just gonna pass. It should be game. Yeah, I knew he was gonna go for Monster Land. That's why I didn't even bother for it. Just like I predicted. Alright. Alright, so we did see the Mr. Negative in hand on first. You don't want to drop the Mr. Negative here on Kaj, because it will flip the cost and then revert the cost to the original. This is good. Again, wish I could have kept the blue marble in hand. It kills me that you really only run like 4 copies of like big cost cards, but yeah, just really unfortunate. Alright, so those guys are going off. Ah, man. Well, Charles is locking that down. So I can't put anything there, so let's just go ahead and put psylocke here. She's going to trigger twice, and that should be pretty good actually. I'm going against the movement deck, so they're going to be trying to displace a lot of their units, but the vulture will not be able to move. So let's just do this for now. Flip the cost. Let's hope we see. Okay, that's not bad. Let's go Ironheart here. And yeah, let's go blue marble. Okay. Okay. I think we win this. I think. The early Charles did kind of hurt. That should be Heimdall. Yep. Yep. There we go. All right. So no Mr. Negative, which is pretty bad. What makes it worse though is that we keep drawing into a lot of the 5s. But it do be that way sometimes. Bar who has no name. Let's go and drop her. And what psylocke is going to do here is open up the potential to see an early Mr. Negative. Nope, no such luck. Let's go Nakia. And yeah, that's good. Let's pass on that. Now, what I do like about the bar with no name is that I can drop on my 0 cluster and drop Mr. Negative if I have him. Ooh, that's actually really good for me. Oh, perfect. Mr. Negative. Wait, I'm so confused. Why would you do that, I wonder? Let's go forge into this.
I wouldn't do it.
We're gonna bounce all of these guys back. Cool. And bounce, and bounce, and bounce. Perfection. Oh, absolute perfection. So let's go ahead and drop blue marble. And we're going to drop this guy right here and her right here. Yep, that should be good. Boop. Buff everybody. Plus 2. And do. Hey. And there you guys have it. And you guys got the chance to see the Mr. Negative deck firsthand. Like I said before, it is a very high roll type of deck. So, you know, expect to sometimes draw into your win cons super early, like seeing your Iron Mans or seeing your Charles Xavier's. So that's why you put alternative win cons within your deck to make sure that if you don't see the cards when you need to see them, you can still do stuff. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and close out the video. Hope you guys have a great morning, great evening, great afternoon, and great night. But this has been Zuki and One, and I hope you guys have a... This has been Zuki and One. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.